The attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
Hello, good afternoon, and what a beautiful day it is here. Just about 40 minutes outside of Ensenada, Baja, Mexico, and this is the site lap for the NORRA Baja, NORRA's Baja, for the Mexican 1000 UTV qualifying. Folks, guess who? You got it right. I'm Sean Sermon. I'm back with you again all week long here in Mexico here. We are working out of our studio here in Ensenada today. Very exciting stuff. This is qualifying for only the UTV classes. Really cool stuff. We started with this qualifying program just not all that long ago with the NORRA 500. So we've now done 2 NORRA 500s with the qualifying for the UTVs, 1 1000 with the qualifying UTVs, and now this is the second time we've done it. And what's going to happen here, let me explain to you a little bit about this, folks. And we're also going to have Pam Hall. She's going to help us out as well with some of the interviews and things down below. But let me just tell you a little bit about how this is going to work out. Very simple. So for all the UTV classes here, you have the opportunity to qualify, and that will decide your starting order for day one. It's a pretty big deal. You do not have to qualify. You can opt to not do that, maybe not take the chance on wrecking your car, what have you, but you're going to start at the back of the pack. You're going to be in the dust. You're going to be in and all the stuff you don't want to be in and start in the back of the pack. So the way qualifying works is, you can see right now, you see all of our cars out there. A nice shot of the number 51. All of our cars out there. That is Joe Achapatiti. I murdered that name. I'm going to have to work on that one, Joe. I'll catch up with you later on. But they're going to go out there, get their sight lap right now. All the cars at once. Go out with a nice slow lap. Get to check it out. See what it's all about. It's the same course that we run every year, whether it be the 1000 or the 500. Nothing has changed. We don't change it at all. And so they're going to go out there, get their sight lap. There's a nice shot of Todd Romano getting his sight lap in. He's leading our sight lap for everyone. And then we're going to come back around, pull everybody into the pit area, and then we're going to qualify 1 car at a time. You get 1 opportunity to do it right. It sounds easy. It's not. It's very tricky. The course is tricky. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, but we've got some off-cambers. We've got some washed-out turns. We've got some ski jumps, some kickers, some G-outs. And those of you that watched qualifying in the past, none of that has changed. It's all the same. And there's some really hairy sections throughout this course. We've seen some competitors go out there and really start their week off great, put themselves up front, run great. We've also seen competitors take themselves completely out of the NORRA race before they even got to the race, just in qualifying. So is there a happy medium? There's got to be, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a happy medium. You know, if the medium's around 50%, you're going to want to probably run around a happy 85%, something like that, unless you're one of our top front runners in qualifying. And I'm going to try not to talk about him too much. Mad Max Gordon. He's going to go out there and he's going to run it hard. I'm not going to talk about Max a whole lot because I know he's going to force me to talk about him when it comes time for his qualifying, and I love that about that kid. So, Max, I'm not talking about you anymore until we get into qualifying time, except for the fact that he does hold the record on course. Fastest lap out of both 500 qualifyings and the already 1,000 qualifying from last year. So far, the fastest lap out of all those 3 qualifying sessions is set by Max at a 2-minute, 27-second .27. That's the fastest in history on this course right here. So he's going to be looking to beat that. So that being said, folks, that's the name of the game, is to go out there and put down the best lap you possibly can. So we're about ready to get underway. I'm hoping we're going to start on time here. And we've got a lot of really good competitors here when we're looking through the field. And I'm going to be looking for, as well as our top 5 from the last qualifying session out here on this course at Nelson Ranch. As I said, just about 40 minutes outside of Ensenada here. And so last time we qualified, we were in the 5th spot, was P.J. Jones. P.J. Jones put down a 2-minute, 37-second .43 at the 500 last year. Fun story is with P.J., and he's smart. He'll race the rule book if he has to. P.J. Jones, as we know, it's a name that's been around all forms of motorsport for a very long time. Of course, Smiley Jones, superstar in motorsports. But P.J., coming from racing off-road, racing karts, racing stadium super trucks, racing IndyCar. You name it. He's been there, he's done it, P.J. Jones. And he's been there and he's won it. He's an amazing competitor. But he's smart. He went out in his qualifying run for the 500. As soon as the run started, he knew he had a technical problem. What did he do? He didn't finish the lap because it would have counted. He pulled off and said, whoa, I'm calling time. We're going to go to the rule book here. Going to go talk to Elsao, Garcia, who is our race director, and say, hey, man, listen, yes, I took the finish line, but I didn't take I took the start line, but I did not take the finish line. I need to go back and work at the car. And it ended up working out. Now, that was the first time we've run into that problem. And I don't know if it said right in the rule book that that's how it worked, but after speaking with Elsao, our race director, they came up with the idea of like, hey, you get your car fixed, you have a certain amount of time to do it and come back out. So he would have been starting towards the very back of the pack. Instead, he came out, ended up running down a great run, and started 5th overall. He was the 5th fastest qualifier of the day. So fun story there for PJ, where that right there showed his years of experience in racing, showed that he stays calm, doesn't panic, and said, instead anyone else, may have just charged to the finish with a broken car and said, well, it is what it is. Not PJ. He's like, hey, let's stay calm, man. There's a better way to do this. And boy, was there, as he put himself in front of about 40 or 50 other cars and finished 5th overall for qualifying. In the 4th spot last year for the 500, it was Bruce G. Bruce G was in a Class 10 car. Why am I bringing up the top 5 this early on? I'll talk a little bit more about him because there's some great stories there. Bruce G., he was in a 10 car. And the 10 cars qualify with the UTVs. They're people at home are going to say I'm crazy, and I know what you mean. But within reason, a similar vehicle. Okay? Are they UTV? No, they're not. But a similar vehicle. So the Class 10s qualify. Bruce G was out there technically in the only Class 10, and he finished 4th overall in qualifying. This year, big changes for Class 10. Class 10 is now Class 10 plus any and all of the new Polaris R's, the Razor R, because it's a 4-cylinder, similar to like a Class 10 as far as CCs and all that stuff. So this year, you have all of your UTV classes as we always do. And, we can run down the line. We can get into Evolution Production Turbo UTV. We can get into the, we can get into the Evolution 4-seater UTV, Evolution Production Turbo, Evolution Pro UTV / Class 10. So we've broken it down a little bit more than what we have in the past to make it a little bit fair. So when you see Class 10s, all the Class 10s are racing not just against all UTVs, but mainly against those, a lot of those, I think those Pro Rs is kind of a better way to put it. That's the way I'm putting it anyways, and maybe I'll be corrected as the days go on here, and I'll fix that. But that's what I see as I look into the details of the way things are and thinking about the way the cars are built and things of that nature. So Continuing on, P.J. Jones was the fifth fastest qualifier in the 500 last year. Bruce G was the fourth. Robbie Gordon was the third fastest. He had a time of 2 minutes 34 seconds, .06. Who bested him? Who bested Robbie Gordon by 1 second exactly with a 2:33.06? Eric Chase did. He did that in the 2023 500. So Eric Chase beat Robbie Gordon by 1 second. That's something you're going to want to talk about for the rest of your life right there. And then up on top of the leader box last year for qualifying with a time that just blew everybody out of the water with a 2:27.27. I'm not going to mention his name again because I promise I'm not going to talk about him all day because I'm going to let his driving do the talking for him here a little bit. But I think we know who he is. His middle name's Mad Max Gordon there. So we're getting ready to get underway here in qualifying. It is now 9 minutes after the hour. We're just starting a broadcast here at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you watching around the world, and I know that you are, a lot of you competitors from all over Australia, New Zealand, the UK, everywhere. I've been lucky enough to be able to do this event now for, I think, 9 years, 8 years, 9 years, long time. And I know a lot of you have family and friends from all over the world. And so thank you for tuning in and joining us here today. And a beautiful, slightly windy, a little bit gusty, if you will, UTV qualifying session. All of this brought to you by Speed UTV here at NORRA's Baja for the Mexican 1000. Those of you just tuning in a little bit late, what you see right here is just a sight lap. That's all it is. They're out there going slow, learning the course. Those competitors that have raced in NORRA in the past, say, year and a half or so, the last two 500s or the last 1000, they know the course. They've qualified on it. It never changes. For the new competitors, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them because this is their first time around and they only get 2 laps. The one you're watching right now, this slow one. And then we also have, their qualifying lap as well. So as we get ready to rock and roll and get into qualifying, we had an opportunity for Pam Marshall to speak to some of our competitors. Pam Hall to speak with some of our competitors. I got to stop doing that. And we had an opportunity for her to talk to one of our competitors earlier on today, just before we got into qualifying. And Pam, what kind of information did you come up with?
Actually allowed to touch and drive a race car, so it should be a pretty unique experience for me. The team trusts me with the car, so I'm excited.
So, and you're soloing it with Max Eddy as your co-driver, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of sandbagging, bringing in a professional here with Max Eddy, Dakar winner, all sorts of amazing shit in his repertoire, and hopefully he'll teach me how the ways of the rally. I've never done a rally before, so this should be fun, and I'm excited to see how it's a little different than normally down here in Baja.
Well, and I got to ask you this: how come you haven't been allowed to touch a car?
Well, see, that's a good question because I signed the checks, but I'm not allowed to touch the car. So I don't know how that worked out, but somewhere in the creation of the team, that was just not, we must have missed that part.
Well, it wasn't in your contract.
No, it was not in my contract. I need a better agent, apparently.
I think you might know one of those, right?
I do know a few agents, yeah. So I might have to reevaluate that.
Well, it's going to be an adventure for you. It's going to be, 6 days of having a blast out here in Baja. You're no stranger to Baja. So what are you looking forward to most?
I don't ever really get to spend a lot of time in southern Baja, so I'm really excited to go down and actually see and race down there. I chased the very first NORRA with the McMillans, and Mark and McAdoo in our Raptors, and so I got to do some of the course back then, and I always wanted to come down and actually race it, so finally doing it.
Well, I'm excited for you. I mean, you haven't done it, so here you are. Excited to see you out there. We'll see you at the finish line every day.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you guys. Thanks to Robbie and all the NORRA team for putting on this event. I'm excited for it.
Well, you got to go right now and prove yourself, though, with some qualifying first.
Yeah, I hate qualifying, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, here we have it from Travis Clark, and we'll see him here in just a little bit out on course.
All right, Pam, thank you so much. Travis Clark, man, he's a great character, dude. Obviously, motorsports has been a massive part of his life, and he just throws a little bit of his history, right? He says, "I raced the first NORRA down here, chased it down here with the McMillans." So the first NORRA, that was a long time ago. We're not talking about the first NORRA in 1976. Either that or he ages very well. But we're talking about the first NORRA when we brought it back a handful of years ago. So that being said, he's a great name in motorsports, and there's an opportunity to get behind the wheel here and do some qualifying. But we also had an opportunity for Pam to talk to Max Eddy as well, and I've been very excited to hear what Max had to say. So let's head on down and get some information from Pam and Max.
Okay, I'm here with Max Eddy Jr., a professional at this, navigating here because you had just won Dakar this year with Brock Hager, but now you're navigating for Travis Clark. How you feeling?
You know, it's a little bit different navigating for my teammate. Today, this week I'm navigating for my boss, and you know what, I enjoy doing it. So, and I'm looking forward to getting in the car with him and just sharing my navigation skills with him and getting us through there and representing Polaris and SCI Motorsports.
Well, getting in there with your boss is a true, what is that called, team building?
Definitely team building event this whole week, and you know, like both my bosses, Travis and Craig, they're awesome people. I navigated for Craig a couple years ago at San Felipe, and they're just like any of us. They're fun. They love to do it, and it makes everything enjoyable.
Well, and this, like you were saying, this is your first time out here at NORRA, so I was asking Travis, what is he looking forward to most? But I'm going to ask you the same question. What is it that you're most excited to see about going all the way down the peninsula?
I think new places, new roads, new race course, and just, getting to hang out and enjoy time with our team.
Well, good luck out there. Don't get fired.
I know, right? There's a lot on the line here. No.
All right. Well, Max Eddy, you have fun out there, and we'll see you out there on the course.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Well, I don't know what was funnier. Pam telling Max Eddy, hey, don't get fired, go out there and have fun with the boss, or him calling him, I don't know if he said Pam or ma'am, but I'm hoping it was ma'am because I think that's a riot. She is definitely a ma'am. So, folks, you're kind of getting the vibe of what NORRA's all about. Yeah, it's super serious. It's a race, and that's all there is to it. And there's a lot of time, effort, money, sweat, tears, blood put out in order to come down and perform at a race like this. But at the same time, the vibe is usually, pretty amazing as it is right now. I was talking with Max Eddy and some of the others here, and everyone's having fun. As of right now, they're somewhat laid back. There's going to be a little bit more tension. And you, even at home, if you're sitting in your recliner, nice and comfortable, hopefully with, a nice beverage in your hand and relaxing, I think you'll find that you'll feel the vibe yourself. And what we're trying to do is bring you into it as well. So right now we have, looks like one car out on the course already in qualifying. And I'm saying that just because of the speed that I'm seeing this vehicle right now is heavy on the gas, no pun intended, with it being a speed UTV. And so right now, this is a wicked section. Look at this. This turn right here is going to eat some cars up today. I promise you that. I don't want to see it happen, but it's going to. That's a really gnarly downhill, off-camber, washed out, slightly silty area right there. The rest of it's pretty hard packed. Wow, on the onboard right now, really on the gas. Just wide open through this section right here. Off the ski jump, big hang time. So far, it looks like a pretty solid run put in. I do believe it's Todd Romano. I'm trying to get a number on the side of that car, but I feel pretty confident with that red, white, and blue color scheme. Very America, very Todd Romano. And he is looking good. Listen to that car. Right to the wood, giving it everything he's got. That speed UTV, getting the power to the ground. Todd a little off to the side right there. This is a big 180, 90-degree turn. Nice and smooth, high, wide, and on the outside. Todd Romano getting the power to the ground. Now he's going down the back stretch here. This back stretch. This is more challenging. It's not just a straight line. You got a ski jump. Then you got like half a ski jump, a couple kickers. That's a kicker right there. Another one right there. Now there's a couple G-outs. Back on board the Romano on a speed UTV. First one out here qualifying heavy on the gas. Keep it together. Oh, gets a little bit on the outside. Collects himself quickly. Romano right to the wood as he comes up. He's going to have a 90-degree right-hand turn. Going to drop down. Big elevation change right here for Romano. Hold it together. Nice, smooth. Not a lot going on behind the wheel. There you go, through this slightly tight section. Now we're gonna start elevation change, bringing you back up, big down right there. You gotta get down if you wanna get up. 90-degree right-hand turn coming at the start-finish line right now. Get ready to get a qualifying time for this car. Now, red, white, blue, Merc Speed UTV. Looks like a pretty solid run right there. And then they're going to pull off to driver's left and off the course. See if we get a proper time here in just a moment. All right, so it looks like that was Todd Romano. And just waiting to get a time on Romano. All righty. Standing by here, looking a shot out into the pits. Back and forth here. I have dropped out. I'm not getting the audio just yet on it. But momentarily here, hopefully we'll get a time and be able to let you know. Todd Romano looking really good there. So there's a nice drone shot of Nelson Ranch. Really great facility here. And right now, I'm just doing the best I can for you. I've lost the audio in my ear. But we are working on that right now as we're only on the second competitor here in our NORRA's Baja UTV qualifying session. All right, so I'm expecting a good time here. Oh, a little bit of a bobble there for P.J. Jones. The man, the myth, the legend, if you will. P.J. Jones having a bit of a struggle there. I would have to imagine, and I don't want to jinx him, that's going to be the first and last of that kind of thing happening here as we're back on board P.J. Jones. This man has been there, won that. Really impressive, smart driver. P.J.'s performance as well. As PJ Performance is a big name in UTV racing. And you can hear his navigator helping him out right now. Wide open to this section now. Boom. Big hang time over that ski jump now. Up into this 90-degree right-hander. Up and around. You can hear his navigator telling him what's going on. For PJ, I think he's just using this as a practice run as well with the navigator. He knows the course. He knows where he's going with this. PJ Jones heavy on the gas. Listen to that car working really well. You hear his navigator. There's a bit of a dip at the bottom of this one. There certainly is. That is a big G out right there. If you hit that right to the wood, it can be a bit of a struggle. Jones on that backstretch, wide open. So fast the camera missed him. Look at the dust in the air. P.J. Jones trying to top Todd Romano right now. About to dip down to that 90-degree right-hander down to the hill. More rights than there are lefts out here. Big elevation change down through almost like some S-turns through here. Around to the right, around to the left. Start climbing again. Climbing back up to the top, back out of God's country and up to the very top of the hill. And about to head at the start-finish line and get a time for P.J. Jones with P.J.'s performance. Right to the wood. Speed UTV bringing you this qualifying session as P.J. Jones qualifying in his Can-Am across the line. Looked like a pretty solid run for P.J. Jones. All right, so I'm working on getting you some times here in a little bit, and I'll be able to touch on you off on each one of those and see just where the story is and who is ahead of who. As we're now just a couple of cars in, a lot of cars here qualifying. Look at the line of those UTVs ready to go. It's all sitting there in the staging area. It's a nice drone shot there of Nelson Ranch. right, so. All right, sorry about that. I was actually getting some times here to get the story here. It looked like Todd Romano was 235.66. And PJ Jones coming in at 235.50. So very close racing right there. PJ Jones still able to edge out Todd Romano just a little bit, even with that bobble. And I believe this is the Vestermark team. Father and son, these guys are awesome. These guys rock and roll. Kyle Vestermark, driver of record. Awesome guys. These two right here, father and son. I had an opportunity to speak with them yesterday at contingency and everything. And man, they're some of my favorite people down here in Baja. They love to have a good time. They love to race hard, play hard. And father-son team, really, really cool stuff here. So you see right now, I believe it's Kyle behind the wheel. I honestly, in my opinion, I've watched probably about 200, 300 cars go through that turn just in qualifying sessions, and Kyle did that pretty much textbook. That's the hardest part to get through so far. Right now, the time to beat is of PJ Jones with a 235.50. Now, of course, that is an unofficial time. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is just qualifying, not even day one of the race. But I can tell you, just because it's coming out of my mouth on NORRA TV does not mean it's official. Let's get that right out front right now. So we are now a little more than halfway through this lap for Kyle Vestermark. Looking really good. New color scheme for the car this year. I think it looks great. You can hear him heavy on the gas there. Looking really, really good. Down this straightaway. Now, Kyle, a younger driver. See how much he lifts or lifts at all through the section here. Very similar to Todd Romano right there. That jump is kicking him a little weird. I think all the cars kind of got kicked like that a little bit. Vestermark on the gas, gets through that. Now he's just going to hold her wide right to the very end. The dust is absolutely flying. Look at it. That is Baja at its finest right there. Vestermark dives down. Big elevation change. Going through the S turns. One down. Two is climbing back up. He can almost see the finish line. Digging. Not far off of, from what I could see so far, almost a perfect lap for him. I didn't see any mistakes. Handled the off-camber like a champ and came out of that last turn heavy on the wood. Absolutely standing on the loud pedal. Vestermark sends it home underneath the NORRA arch. We'll see if we get a time for Vestermark on that one, but that looked like a really good run from him. So Vestermark just cooling down right now. Gonna pull into the pit area here. Just look off to the background beyond the track there. Really cool. It's such a nice facility here at Nelson Ranch. It really is. And for the opportunity for us to come through and not just race through the ranch like you know, a lot of races do and things, but be able to be there, spend the day there, setting things up and qualifying there. Really great stuff. So we got another car online right now, and we'll be waiting on a time for Vestermark. Time to beat 235.50. That 235 time is actually 2 seconds, almost 2 full seconds faster than PJ Jones's time was in our 500 qualifying last year. So he bettered his time from last year. That might have to do with it being so hard packed, or maybe just PJ getting to know it a little bit better. All right, I'll get you a name of who we have out here on course in just a moment here. Marion March, looks like, is what I'm being told. Car number 198 out there and in full effect. So far, a pretty respectable run, I'd have to say the least. This is the 2024 Can-Am Maverick R of Gary March. Gary March put down a good time. Just about halfway through this lap, going over this big ski jump. March, pretty good send right there, up into the 180 and back down, heading on to the backstretch here in just a moment. March looking good in the 198. Not a bad run whatsoever. Right now, as we said, the time to beat, 2:35.50, set by P.J. Jones, son of Hardnelli Jones. And that is a good time to start right off. Right now, that 2:35 would put them inside the top 5 fastest laps of the 2024 NORRA 500 qualifying session. Uh-oh. I spoke too soon. Pulled off to the side on the backstretch in the 198 of Gary March. Now, all I can hope for, we don't see any visible issues with the car. So all I can hope for right now is that maybe something mechanically wasn't sound or something wasn't right. And they said, hey, you know what? Let's not keep going and destroy the car, something internally or what have you in qualifying. Let's just pull over, say, let's not sweat the qualifying, and let's go fix this and pull off. So hopefully that's what's going on right there. But you see Gary March now pulled to driver's right to the inside of the backstretch of the Nelson Ranch qualifying course here for our UTVs and Class 10 vehicles. Got our drone shot. So they're looking at them. No one's moving yet. We will see our recovery team. I believe they're probably already heading that direction. And then next up, looks like we've got the 98, I believe. Maybe that's the next one in to be out on course. The number 98 is no other than Larry Holt. Not Larry's first time out here at NORRA, that is for sure. As there is part of our chase team, or our recovery team, if you will. I think in qualifying, we're calling them recovery. And the race itself, we're calling them the chase team because they chase everyone all the way down the peninsula. But right now, the 198 pulled off to the side. Hopefully it's nothing major. And that is Larry Holt. I'm sorry, not Larry Holt. That's who I believe is up next. We are looking at Gary March. So we see them pull up, get ready to put a strap to Gary March's vehicle here. So not the qualifying session we wanted to see for that vehicle. And sadly, they are broke down to the inside of the course. And hopefully we can respond as quickly as possible. And that's key to success. Get them off the course as soon as we possibly can. Right now, I don't even see a tie strap out or a toe strap or anything yet. So hopefully we can get it together there and move a little bit quicker and get on with qualifying. Because I'd love to see a faster pace than what's being set right now. All right, so as we are seeing them now getting a toe strap out and slowly hooking it up, getting ready to pull them off. We did, however, have an opportunity to get with Pam and get down and speak with PJ Jones, who is atop the leaderboard right now unofficially. I'd love to hear what he has to say, Pam. What's going on?
Here with PJ Jones, getting ready to go out on your qualifying loop just to see the course first. Do you have anything in your mind that you're going to really focus on? Because I know you've done this before.
No, not really. I think you just want a good solid lap. You know, let's face it, it's 1,300 miles. I think top 10, as long as we're in the top 10, you know, and we're around cars that are our speed, it's kind of what you're shooting for, you know. Again, you got to make sure that you have something to race for the next 6 days, and you know you don't fly it off the jump, and then you know take some, you know, something that's break something or hurt something that causes you a problem in the next couple days. So.
Well, and you're coming off of the win from the 500, so you are starting off the year already good. You know, with that win, come back and follow it up.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'd like to get another one in the 1,000, win another one, and you know, it's a hard race. It's again, I mean, you got to race the racetrack. You got to race, forget about the competition and just not have mistakes and not have any downtime. We brought 4 cars with us, and you know, hopefully we can have a good race with all of them.
Well, you're getting suited up and everything, and thank you so much for taking the time. But good luck out there, and we know you're well seasoned, so good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so that it was a pre-qualifying run interview there with PJ Jones, and his run has been put in, and he did so far exactly what he said he was going to do. Kept the car together in one piece, gave it a nice, smart run, and so far he's sitting on top of the leaderboard with a 2:35.50 lap time. So pretty good stuff so far. And right now we are off and running with the 98. And the 98 on the gas early on, not wasting any time. That's Larry Holt. And I tell you, Larry Holt's one of those guys where he doesn't waste any time. He is on the gas. And that's exactly what he's doing right here. Now, I don't know if the cameras were just playing tricks on me or not, but it seemed to me like Larry Holt just went through the hardest, toughest turn to navigate on this qualifying session like the wind. I mean, absolutely just hammered and throttled through that section. Really, really impressive stuff. It was so fast, I literally had to think about what went on right there. Was it the camera? Was it the internet cutting out? Or was he going that fast? And I'm just going to leave it at Larry Holt, you are on the gas and a man on a mission right now. Very impressive stuff. I'm looking forward to see what kind of time Holt gets. After seeing that, I don't want to see any mistakes out of him. I want to see him have a flawless run, and I'm really curious to see where it puts him on the leaderboard because so far the first half of his qualifying lap was absolute money. Keep in mind, we don't have timing loops throughout the whole qualifying run, so we don't know. Once a driver takes off, goes to the laser beam once, we don't know again until they get him all the way back around again. So it's a guessing game. But it looked like Holt was really, really fine right there. Now, smart, little more backpedaling than a couple of the competitors so far, but maybe taking PJ Jones's approach to it. We're like, hey, got to keep the car together, right? I mean, no sense in trying to qualify a car that you can't race it because you broke it. So coming down to the end of the back stretch right here, swapping out, swapping to the right, swapping to the left, a little zig, little zag. Should have zagged when he zigged. Held onto it real good, nice and smooth. Drops down the hill. This is pretty steep right here. The camera, the drone doesn't really show it, but it's pretty steep downhill. Pretty heavy on the brakes right there. Oof, gets around through the center of those S-turns. About to come up, heading towards the clouds, back up the hill. Do you see the light? And yes, he does. He sees it now as he takes that last 9-degree right-hander and holds it wide open going towards the NORRA arch to about end his qualifying run. I'm excited to see what this number is. All right, Larry Holt will put it in what I think was a pretty good run. So we'll have to take a moment and see if we get a time on him. So we've got a lot of competitors yet to come here today. An awful lot of UTVs here qualifying today. Looks like that is Elsao Garcia starting off the cars. There is the 988, I do believe. So the 988 is about to get into a pretty gnarly section here. We'll see how he does. Dip it down to that section right now. Hang on, buddy, hang on. Keeps it to the inside. Look at that silt flying. That's the only soft part of this entire course. Driver on file for this one is Drew Peffery. No, Peril. Drew Peril in the 988. Looking pretty good. Hopefully we'll get some more times sent over to me here in the studio so you can see just what kind of battle we've got going on. Peril to the inside, just hanging a wheel just a little bit off that cliff. That is what I would have to imagine is the hot line through that section. Those of you just joining in, folks, hi. I'm Sean Cerveny, and we are back again. Not just for the Mexican 1000, but NORRA's Baja Mexican 1000. And this is the 2025 qualifying session out at Nelson's Ranch, just about minutes outside of Ensenada, Mexico. As we are getting all of our UTVs qualified, and so they can grid up to start off day number 1 tomorrow from Ensenada all the way down to San Felipe. That jump has been kicking cars exactly the way it is like that for years. It has not changed. Every one of our qualifying cars today so far has done exactly the same thing. So far, good run for the 988. Not bad at all. Diving down. I think I just have a feeling it might be a slightly slower lap. Not slower, but it's not going to be atop the leaderboard, I don't think. Either that or Peril is just so smooth that he's pulling the wool over my eyes, and that's possible. It certainly is. Up the hill. Last 90-degree turn to the right. And now heading towards the start-finish line, towards the arch. About to stop the clock on Peril. All right, so it looked like a pretty flawless run. Not bad at all. As we're continuing on here with qualifying. On deck right now. See if I can get a number off the side of that car for you. All right, looks like I think it is Elsao stepping out. So those of you, as I was mentioning before, just joined us a little bit late. Qualifying is only for the UTV classes and Class 10 cars. And some of the UTVs out there are very, very similar, so they're running in one class. That is Class 10 and the UTVs. Heavy on the gas. We've yet to see anyone blow this turn, and I don't want to jinx them. Oh, and I knew somewhere we were going to get it. He went a little wide there, entered in a little hot. I thought he was going to get sucked over the berm. I wasn't even talking. I was just so intensely focused on him on the line that he was using coming down that hill. I thought it might bring some trouble, and it almost did. Very close to having a pretty rough get off. I see get off the track there, but hung on to it, got around the corner, and got back on the gas. So nice recovery for him. All right, so over that last ski jump, hear him on and off the gas right there, up into the 180. Gets the car around pretty well. Wide open right there, the 1333. Now I got it locked in. 1333. Now we can get right into it. All right, so 1333 coming down to the end of his qualifying run right now. That is Danny Jedresco. I'm going with that, Danny. Danny Jedresco, he is in the Evolution Pro UTV Class 10. Not a bad run for him. Doing quite well, to say the least. Going to dip down here. Two more, including this one, 90-degree rights. One set of S-turns down to the bottom of this valley, and he is home, sweet home, heading right back to the start-finish line. There he is, up on top of the hill. Going to point it, stand on the loud pedal, bring it to the finish line, see what kind of time he's got. One bobble in the off camber, the rest of it done pretty well. And over the start-finish line there, looking good. Not a bad run at all for that vehicle in the 1333 car. That is pretty impressive. And he hung on to it well when things started to go wrong. He fixed it up very quickly. In the Evolution, no, I'm sorry, in the Evolution Pro UTV Class 10, Danny Jedresco. So here's the 1334. So 1334 now. Just getting underway. This is Cody Jedresco. Also the Evolution Pro UTV class in Class 10. That is a 2024 Polaris Pro R. He's going to do the same thing. Almost. Get it together. Little slow mid-turn. Not bad entry speed. Little slow mid-turn. Hard to have a fast exit. Was able to collect himself. Doing well right now. All in all, not bad. Just getting through that turn. I mean, that alone is a key to success. So not bad. Both of these cars, these teammates, and I'm calling them teammates, same last name, same looking cars. Call me crazy. But it seems they both had similar lines going into that turn. Maybe they did a little track walk beforehand or discussed it. And, you know, in the big scheme of things, maybe it worked for them. And it just seems a little bit odd with the cameras. And you see him heavy on the gas at this up the hill. Sends it off the ski jump. Full send. Absolute full send. Well done. Up into the 180-degree right-hand turn. Boy, listen to him. He's not holding back on the skinny pedal. Absolutely letting her eat down that backstretch. I don't know if it's a father-son team. And the only reason I say that is because maybe this might be the son, and only just because of the sound of the car. They're very similar cars, but I'm just trying to do my best to listen to who's lifting, getting off the gas where, who's getting back on when. And it seems as the driver of this car in the 1334 versus his teammate in the 1333 seems to me like maybe a little more in love with the loud pedal than his teammate. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a faster time, but Cody seems like he is really on the gas. So coming around the last and final turn, pointed out, Cody Jedresco headed to the finish line for his 2025 Norra's Baja 1000 UTV qualifying session. It's over. It's done. It's in the record books now. Well done, Cody. So we've got some really cool drone shots. Look at that, man. Cool looking section right there. And the only thing is with some of the cameras and drones is it doesn't really give you justice as far as how steep some of these hills are versus how tall they are, how big the elevation change is. And because it's a pretty gnarly course here. Speaking of gnarly, here's a nice looking speed UTV. See if I can get the number on him right about now. And I missed it, but we're going to get it soon. On the gas, looking good. And just waiting for our TV crew to get some good shots of the car there. There we go. Area. I promise those of you listening at home, I'm going to get some times in for you here. I'm working diligently on getting those to me, but keep in mind, I'm in the studio in Ensenada, and they are about 40 minutes away, so we're working that. Taz Harvey in that 2023 Speed Bandit. Taz Harvey looking good, moving and shaking, not bad at all. Bandits are a cool looking car, I can tell you that, to say the least. Taz Harvey sending it over that ski jump, up into the 180. Looking good so far. Taz runs it in deep. Comes in kind of mid-track, runs it up high. Squares up a little bit late, runs it down the hill. A different line right there. But I'm almost thinking maybe running it down that hill a little bit further might help him with a little bit of momentum. This is technically one of the fastest portions of the course here that they enter into. Perhaps running it up that high like that, squaring it off a little late, is a good idea. I wouldn't have thought so until I saw him do it. And now I'm thinking, you know what? Taz Harvey, you might be onto something, my friend. You know, look at him. Looking good right there. A little slower in this section. So he's had some highs. He hasn't had any lows, but he has had some mediums. So he's had some points in this run where I was very impressed. I'm like, yeah, Taz, my man. And then I've had a couple, I'm like, well, let's work on that. Sadly, there's no time to work on it. It's only one lap, and it's about to be done right now. Taz Harvey in 2025, easy for me to say, huh? Only got 6 more days to go. 2023 Speed UTV Bandit coming to the line, and boom, over and done with for his qualifying run. Excellent, Taz Harvey. Not a bad run at all. I would have to think that's going to put him somewhere around mid-pack qualifying, which is not bad at all. Not a bad run. I think they're trying to get look on our preview screen of who's going to be next here. All right, that's a nice looking car as well. All right, Norra's Baja Mexican 1000 UTV qualifying session here at Nelson Ranch. For those of you just joining in right now, we are maybe a third of the way through the qualifying order. I believe right now on top of the leaderboard, I believe, is still PJ Jones with a 2:35, which is a great run. Hang on, hang on. Not bad. I can tell you from years past, that turn right there, by this far into qualifying, has eaten up some cars already. So far, it's a good year. That car looks like it works well. Really dancing nice through that rough stuff. Off a little bit of a kicker. Going for down in the canyon section. Full vertical wall to your right. Vertical drop off to your left. Squared up a little early right there. Two wheels it. Runs it to the outside. Drops down, heads towards the next ski jump. Points it, aims it, throttle on. Full send. We're going to listen in. Let off the gas a bit. Smart, do not destroy the car. Up into that 180. Uh-oh, up into the tires. Maybe that was an old dirt track move. He's just looking for traction. That's all he's doing. A little too high, a little too wide on the outside. Smart. I do like the plan of let's not wreck the car. Like, hey, listen, we just ran in a little too deep. Let's not do that anymore. Let's be smart about it. And you can tell right now, kind of pumped the brakes a little bit and is now attacking this qualifying in a slightly different manner. And I can appreciate that. All right, got the drone on him. Different angle we haven't seen yet, and dropping down. I know I've told you before, I know you probably don't believe me, but that's a pretty big hill right there. Drops down considerably. Through the S-turn, back up, one more right-hander, and off to the finish line we go. Right, pointed at the NORRA arch. About to click off the laser beam. Stop the stopwatches. What do we got? Comes in a little late. Let off the gas there a little early. Co-driver's pumped. Had a good time there. Qualifying when we first started this a couple years ago had some mixed emotions as far as, you know, do you want to have qualifying? Do you not want to have qualifying? Things of that nature. But I do feel that everyone is kind of taken to it and enjoying it right now. Let me tell you a little bit about who is going to take to it like a duck in water. And that's this all-black speed UTV right now. On the gas. Rocking and rolling, running in deep. Let him rail sideways right there. Now let's see how the man, the myth, the legend for real, Robbie Gordon, handles this turn. Comes in, look at him. Beautiful. See, comes in, enters from the outside, squares it up. Great entrance speed. Bitchin' speed through the middle of the turn. And those two equate to only one thing. When you have great entrance speed and you have good speed through the middle of the turn, what else you got left? Great exit speed, and that's what's up right there. Well done to El Jefe, the boss, Robbie Gordon. I'm not talking Bruce Springsteen, but man, he's letting that car sing right now, baby. Through the canyon section. Coming up, getting ready to go up and over through these kind of whoops and at the ski jump here in a minute. Robbie Gordon, if he stuck with the plan, wow, big send from Robbie Gordon. Really looking to put down a time. He doesn't want to just knock PJ Jones off the leaderboard. He wants to set up a time where his son, Mad Max Gordon, can't hang with. Last year, qualifying in between father and son, there was 5.5, 6 seconds in between. Robbie Gordon last year for the 500 was 30 horsepower less than Max was. Don't think we didn't all hear about it. We did. And this year, I believe the plan was to come back with the same car, just to see what's up. I'm curious to find out exactly if that happened or not, and I will get that homework done, and I will get that information back to you, I promise you. But right now, Robbie Gordon, heavy on the gas. Look how good that car handles. Impressive. Wow. That was a quick lap. I'm going to have to get the time from this one. Really, really good stuff right there. Robbie Gordon wide open towards the finish line. Right to the wood. Listen, he's not letting off. We're going full send. Robbie Gordon, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, so that was an excellent, excellent run right there for Robbie Gordon. Now, I tell you, just because the run looks good doesn't mean that the numbers are going to say it's good. Hold on, it's coming into me right now. Robbie Gordon's time is point. Okay, the time is 2:34 flat. Wow, so up on top of the leaderboard, Robbie Gordon. And I'm double checking on the times, making sure we're all in agreement. All right. So I'm getting it now, making sure it is official. So it is as official as I can tell you. And it looks like it is a 2:34, which is 0.06 faster than his time was for qualifying in the 500 just a few months ago. Fast enough to be up on top of the leaderboard as well. So good run right there for Robbie Gordon. And again, and I can't say this enough, just because it comes out of my mouth doesn't make it real, okay? And that's going to go on for today and the next 5 days, all right? So Robbie Gordon with a great time there. I would love to hear about what he thought his run was all about, and it looks like we're going to have an opportunity to do that. So we're getting ready to rock and roll here in just a little bit. We're going to head on down, and it looks like Pam's going to get the action here and have a chat with Robbie Gordon momentarily. I'm excited to see how he felt about that run. I'm just really impressed with how well that car handled. Really, really good stuff as Robbie and Pam are getting ready to go and get all the information here. But man, that number 7 Speed UTV is, that's an impressive car to watch. It certainly is. So right now we're on course with another competitor qualifying, looking very good. On the backstretch section of the course. Big send, looking very comfortable out there. I'm going to see if I can get a number on it here at the end. Time to beat. I'm not going to get the number. Wow, I tell you, did you hear that car through there? The car was moving, physically on the gas, looking good, but so calm, so smooth, and still continuing on in that fashion. I think this is a pretty impressive run coming up. If it maybe it wasn't the entire lap, but I can tell you that last little bit right there down the backstretch through that section and up to the finish line is really good. So I'm just waiting until Pam is ready to rock and roll, and we'll send it to her as soon as I'm told we're ready. We're going to get some news on how Robbie felt about his run here in just a few seconds. And nice drone shot right there of the entire facility. Really cool area here. Down at Nelson's Ranch, those of you just tuning in, this is the UTV qualifying session for the 2025 NORRA's Baja Mexican 1000. And so this is for all UTVs and Class 10 vehicles. So we see another qualifying car out on course. I'm looking to see the number on that vehicle. All right, and it looks like I'm doing my best to get to you as quick as I can with slightly our technology this year with cameras, drones, internet, second to none. Really, really good stuff. We're already starting off on the right foot. Just working on getting some of the information from qualifying to me, and hopefully we'll work those bugs out today, and then for the rest of the week I can give you everything that you need, everything you asked for, everything you've ever dreamt of. From sitting on your couch and watching off-road racing, and hopefully I can get it to you immediately and not far off of in real time. And that would be huge for us right there. That is the 195 perhaps. Car 185 is on course right now. Beautiful. And that would be Jeremy Frezy. Jeremy Frezy in the Evolution Pro UTV Class 10 2023 Polaris Pro R. Jeremy Frezy out there giving it what it's got in his qualifying session. Having that information of Jeremy Frezy right in my ear is key right now. So I'd love to keep that going if possible. Down the backstretch, Frezy on the gas, back pedaling just a little right there. Smart, good run, well played. Now really letting it eat. We got a bit of a G out coming up. And this is the G out, heavy on the brakes, smart move. Different line, over to driver's right. Most others were over to driver's left. Is that gonna help? Is it gonna hurt? I don't know, but that was a pretty major difference compared to the majority of the competitors through this section. As he finishes up, the backstretch drops down into that right-hander and down the hill into the S-turn. The Frezy, only a couple turns to go. Coming through the S-turns, up the hill. One more right-hander and just heading her right home. Frezy with some different lines that we haven't seen before. I like it, I'm feeling it, looking really good. Jeremy Frezy now right on the wood. Got that bad boy pointed right at the finish. And that four-seater sending it off the finish line. Jeremy Frezy, well done, sir. I don't know if that's going to be a winning time, but I tell you, that was a fun time right there, to say the least. All right, so now we had an opportunity to speak with Robbie Gordon after his run, and I'd love to hear what he had to say. Pam Hall, if you could, give us some information. What Robbie had to say about that run?
All right, Robbie Gordon, you just now laid down the fastest lap so far of qualifying with a 2:34. What was your tricks?
These cars have been good here. This is the same course we run every time. I don't know exactly. I think Max went faster than that last year. So, my car is good. I overboosted and it threw it in limp mode coming off the last corner here. So it was a little slow towards the finish line. But all in all, the cars are running good. And it's a long race. 1,400 miles is a long race. And one thing I didn't want to do is drive it too hard in qualifying where we have ourselves a problem and it won't make it to the finish line.
Yep, exactly. That's 100%. That's what all the drivers have been saying out here. But you were wondering about the times that were going on, and right before you took off, you found out that Todd was the fastest qualifier. So did you pick it up a little bit more just to beat his time?
I don't. You really can't. You can't pick it up. You just do what you do. There's nothing you can say. Okay, I'm going to go find another 2 seconds. But if they did it more times and you ran out a little bit longer. But like I said, I think we probably gave 5 seconds up. So we'll see where quick time is.
Well, fastest lap so far. Good job out there, Robbie Gordon. Sean, back to you.
That's great. It's like you don't really pick up the time, he says, but he says, but he feels like he lost about 5 seconds. So that's kind of a story about qualifying. I've been explaining earlier on the show that qualifying, it's easier said than done. So can you make up time easily? No, you can't. And that's in most forms of motorsport, but out here you cannot make up time easily. Can you lose time easily? Absolutely. He says, yeah, I can't just pick up 2 seconds. But he said, but I think I lost 5. So, I mean, that's how difficult qualifying is. And I know we've got a lot of people that are at home right now that have qualified at the last 500 or the last 2 500s or the last 1,000 that maybe are not here right now. And if you're watching, hey, shoot us a message. Let me know. Am I crazy? Am I not? Actually, don't answer that question. I know the answer to it. But that being said, yeah, the qualifying adds something completely different to it. And it makes it very difficult. You can lose time easily. But as far as picking time up, that's not a simple thing. So right now we're just getting ready to. All right, so we now have quite a few cars yet to go. A couple front runners. We have another one, at least another speed car or 2 or 3 actually to go as well. Our time for our last competitor out there that we had was a 3:06.46. A 3:06.46. And now qualifying on course is, I'm looking for the number on the side of the car right now, and it is the number 50. Easy spotted it. Got that locked in. All right, so that is James Saunders in the Evolution Pro NA UTV class. James Saunders. So far, so good in his qualifying run. Nice and relaxed, not pushing the envelope too much. Smart about the way he's handling it. I like his style. I like his moves. Got that 4-seater running well. Now down in the canyon section. The walls of Baja. Vertical up on your right, vertical drop off on your left. Keep in mind, folks, as you listen to that car and listen to the RPMs and things, it is a 4-seater. Slightly heavier car. When you're getting to the power to the ground, the RPMs are not going to be running as high when you're toting around that extra weight. Saunders in the number 50. So far, so good. Up around that big 180. Very calm. Now pointed down just a long straightaway. Only a couple turns left to go. 2 rights and an S turn. He's going to be home. Nice mellow through here. Over the ski jump. That one also kicked him over to driver's left, as it has the majority of the other vehicles as well. That ski jump is a bit of a kicker. Does shoot you towards the fence there a little bit. Nice and calm and under control. We're not going to wreck the car today, he says. Saunders is like, no, we're bringing the car back. Back to Ensenada tonight in one piece. We're going to be smart about it. And we got 5 days to work out the rest of the race. I like that strategy. The pace he's running right now, that's a pace you want to run in the race. You can't go out and run the entire 5 days completely wide open and just destroying the car. And he's starting off that way right now as well. Getting his head straight, smart. It's a good way to do it. I have a feeling we'll see Saunders at the last and final finish line. Can't win it if you can't finish it. James Saunders about to put his qualifying run in the record books. It's over. Boom. It's done with. James Saunders now going off to track left back to the pit area with his Qualifying time waiting for us right around the corner. As you can hear, or I can hear anyways, the wind is really picking up out there. It was very windy this morning. We were doing camera tests and things. Cold and windy out there. And it doesn't seem as though the wind has calmed. All right. So we are going to take a quick moment and go down. We spoke to one Gordon earlier on today as he's sitting on top of the leaderboard. That is Robbie Gordon. Couple seconds faster than he was last year, but we've got his son, Mad Max Gordon, right now, and I would love, Pam, if you could tell me what's on his mind.
All right, Max Gordon, right now we're standing over here in qualifying. You have not qualified quite yet. The fastest time here so far, 2:27 last year. Your dad right now is the fastest qualifier, so are you going to try to stick with your fast times or just try to plan to beat your dad?
Well, you know, he ran a 2:34, I think, in his last run, and he's first right now. So we're going to see where Bronson stacks up. You know, they're the same cars. Bronson's a hell of a driver, and I think with him getting a good car this year, I think we're gonna have a good fight. And we'll see what race time is. If my dad still has him covered, then all I got to do is go out there and beat him. And it's his car, so I don't want to beat it up too bad. And we'll just go out there and. I think after these last few cars qualify, Elsao said we're going to do another recon lap with a few other drivers, and then we're going to get started. But, you know, I think the factory team brought a car out this year. They haven't qualified yet, so we don't know where they stack up. BJ Jones has qualified. But, you know, if he's still the leader at the end by the time I go and I'm the last guy to go, we're going to go for it. And I don't know if we're going to try and beat my time like last year, but you never know what happens once you put the helmet on. Might go for it.
Well, and like you said just now, you don't know what's going to happen when you put your helmet on. But yeah, PJ was in second position. Now he's sitting in third. Todd was sitting in that number 1 spot. So good day for speed, you know, having the 1 and 2 spots right now. But it's a long race. Last year it was a long race. You guys, you know, finished strong and everything as well. But you're like you're saying, you're sitting here doing your homework right now.
Yeah, we're going to go here and watch Bronson go, see how the speed car reacts, and then go walk the course a little bit. But you know, we got to finish in Cabo to win. So see where we end up.
Awesome. Well, Max, good luck out there, and we'll see how it all pans out.
Thank you.
Pam, you know what I thought was the funniest about that is, you know, you mentioned, are you going to go out there and, you know, try to beat, you know, qualify the best, or are you going to go out there and just try to beat your dad? And he kind of just like, yeah, well, you know, if my dad ends up being the fastest, then all I got to do is go beat him. No big deal. All I got to do is just go out and beat Robbie Gordon, my dad. I think that's pretty funny. Max Mello, and, you know, he's one of those guys where, you know, I mean, his driving does most of his talking. And I love that. And so I'm really excited to see what he's got for us here in a little bit. But I'm also excited, as you mentioned, about Bronson and seeing what kind of run he puts down. And that's going to kind of determine what kind of run we're going to see out of Mad Max Gordon later on today. So, you know, we're all excited to see where we're at. And listen, I've known a kid since he was, 4 years old or so, and we know what he's going to do. You know, is he going to succeed? I don't know. You know, you got to keep things together. You got to have luck on your side. But I know, I mean, I'll bet this week's pay that he's going to put the helmet on and just go for it, because that's what he does. He doesn't know how to do anything else. He's Mad Max Gordon, and he's an absolute animal. So I'm excited to see what's got going on here. Right now, we're out here with the number 51. This is an Evolution Production Turbo UTV class out here. This is Joe O. And Joe O, if you see me later on, maybe around the driver's meet or whatever, come grab me, because we need to work on your last name, because I'm not going to do it again. I wrecked it last time. I know I did. So in the number 51, Joe O. Right now, just finishing up his qualifying run. And as I mentioned, to anyone who knows Joe, come find me at the driver's meeting. Let's talk about the last name so that next 5 days I can get you dialed right in. All right, moving right along with qualifying. You heard Max Gordon say just a little while ago that we are going to, apparently Elsao, our race director, is going to go out with some vehicles in a little bit here and give them another sight lap. Now, what that would have to mean to me, and I feel pretty confident saying this, that maybe we had some latecomers show up for qualifying. Possibly some vehicles that have maybe some cars the teams have never raced NORRA. Maybe they got lost trying to find Nelson's Ranch or something of that nature. But looks like after another car or two, we're going to pump the brakes for a minute and give a couple competitors a qualifying lap. Or not qualifying lap, I'm sorry, a sight lap before they get into their qualifying, because that would just be dangerous to send them out without doing that. So, all right, right now we got another speed car. Beautiful looking car. I saw him yesterday hanging around here, staying at the Villa Marina Hotel in Ensenada. Really good looking vehicle. Whoa, late apex right there. Big roost off the outside front tire. Just kind of collected it right at the end. Was able to make it happen. That speed car looking good. It really tracks so well when you look at these cars. Just the way they handle, it's really, really impressive. You don't have to be a seasoned pro to go fast in one of these and make one of them look good. That's for sure. Looking good down through the walls of Baja. Not a bad run so far. George Moore in the El Diablo. Speed El Diablo. George Moore looking good. Little more than halfway through his qualifying run. Pam Hall down in the pit area getting all of our information from our drivers. I'm Sean Sermony, and this is NORRA's Baja 2025 UTV qualifying session from Nelson Ranch here in Baja, Mexico. Qualifying happening just about 40 minutes outside of Ensenada, Mexico. Beautiful, beautiful area here, and this is where off-road racing was ultimately born. And this is the home of off-road racing around the world, is right here in Baja, and we are right in the midst of an amazing qualifying session and getting ready to go to start off tomorrow morning for day one of 5 days of racing down the peninsula. It's my favorite event of the year, and I get to travel the world doing this, and this is the one that I come back to year after year after year. So it's very exciting as we're getting down through the S-turns and the El Diablo for more. Climbing up the hill, one more big turn to go, and he's going to head towards the finish line. George Moore on his way to the checkered flag to grab his time in that speed El Diablo. Kept it together, the car's in great shape. 5 days of racing coming ahead. He knows, hey, we're looking good. We can go back to the hotel. We can relax tonight. We'll not bolt it. We're going to the line. We're racing to San Felipe tomorrow, because that's how stage one is going to be. Stage one from Ensenada to San Felipe. Spending the night down there, then San Felipe on to Bay of LA. Nice little fishing village down there. Very cool little area. Spend the night in Bay of LA. Pack that town in with so many people. Not enough hotels, not enough hotel rooms, nothing. There's a lot of people camping, sleeping on the beach. It's a wild night, and then everyone is rewarded as we head on down to Loreto for the next stop, and it is absolutely beautiful down there, and that is where everyone stays and kind of rejuvenates, if you will. And then head on to stage 4, and that'll be from Loreto down to La Paz. And La Paz bringing us all the way down to Cabo. That's how the 5 days are going to go, and that starts off tomorrow morning with that man right there in the orange. Says it does. That is Elsao Garcia. Elsao Garcia, Robbie Gordon's partner in this NORRA venture for the 1,000 to 500. And of course, the same goes with Mike Perlman as well. Mike Perlman, his father, founding this event back in 1967. And the Perlman family being involved with it ever since, and continuing to do so now, as Mike Perlman this year will be a racer in a Myers Manx, which is one of our great partners here at NORRA. Myers Manx is always exciting to have around, and more exciting this year for me, for the sole reason of my good buddy Mike Perlman. will be driving a Myers-Minx this year. Very tough. But let's get back to the qualifying action because that's what's going on right now. Good handful of cars yet to go with a couple of young, very exciting drivers yet. Somewhere in the mix here, we are going to take a quick break and give a couple of cars a slow sight lap so that they can safely qualify in just a little bit. Continuing on with qualifying. In the 760, George Berta. At the 760 Evolution Pro UTV Class 10, George Berta. Berta, front end low, rear end high. That tells me he was pretty much sending it right there. Calms it down, gets it around the corner, nice and easy. Berta, now wide open down the backstretch. Berta looking good. Not far to go yet. We're going to get to the finish line with him. So far, kind of an exciting run. It seems like the car's on the gas. Right here tells a lot. Just look at the entrance speed. Calmed it down considerably compared to some of our front runners. Almost bicycles a little bit. Up on two wheels, sets it back down, rolls the throttle back on, gets it back on all fours. Down into the S-turns. Through there, nice and smooth. Rear end kicks out a little bit, lost a little bit of time right there. Berta points it, aims it at the finish line, rolls on the throttle, stands on the loud pedal. Can he make it happen? Make up any time in just that last little bit. He did have a couple little mistakes there. Keep in mind that's also a four-seater. Oh, there we go. We're back at it again. So we're getting down, not to the nitty gritty, not to the very end of the cars, but we are moving along pretty good. Right now we got another speed UTV on the line. Let's see here. I believe this is going to be 1127, I think is what it is. Which would put us looking at $11.23. There we go. Okay. I'm curious if perhaps this is Brad Halco, who we've seen out here before. But my paperwork is not matching what's on the side of his car. If that's the biggest problem I have this week, we are dialed in. No, we are good. I've got it now. Yeah, Brad Halco. And this is, if I remember correctly, and I believe I do, this is most certainly not the first time we've seen Brad Halco out here in a speed UTV at our NORRA 500 or our NORRA's Baja Mexican 1000. All right, there he is coming down. This is the worst, toughest. So going to the inside turn of the whole thing. That was a different run. So coming down, he had pretty good entrance speed. Got on the brakes right at the end, took it from mid-track to the inside to driver's right. Got on the binders a little bit harder. Can't just flow through it. And there really is no flowing through that turn. Went on kind of a mid-apex on that turn right there. Got the car turned, squared up and back out. Not bad. I believe we saw a couple fast competitors last year do a similar program through there, and it worked for them. That was not too bad for Halco. and I could be wrong, it could have been Brad Halco that did it last year as well, but we have not seen a lot of that today. So Halco, so far so good. Time to beat Robbie Gordon with a 2:34 flat, fastest time so far today. Halco just coasting up into that turn. Being smart, keeping the car together. Not bad at all. Got this long straight low. So far for Halco, the hard stuff's over. Car seems to be working decent. Now you just got to bring it up, drop it down in to this 90-degree right-hander. Drop it, bring it down into the S turns, if you will. Big elevation change down right here. Calm. There we go. Now through the S turns, up the hill. One more right-hander to go, and he's going to be at the finish line, or pointed at the finish line, I should say. Look at no panic inside the car. Real mellow. I love to see that. Sometimes you see go to the in-car and all you see is elbows. Sometimes you go in there and the driver will be on the same course as you just saw elbows at, and it's nice and calm. I like to see that. Be smooth. No unnecessary movement in the cab of the race car is a hot setup. All right, now we got Halco across the line. So looking good. There is Elsao about to wave the green. All right, dropping the hammer right now. There we are, looking good right there, just real mellow over that jump, not pushing it too far. On board. Great shot right there. Not bad at all. It looks like it seems like it's so smooth. That's not really what the case is. It's a pretty rough ride out there in this qualifying stage. Look at, I've been talking about the walls of Baja right here. Really close to that. It's so easy to make a mistake through that section, but he gets through it nice and cleanly. Going for a pretty good send here. Stand by, boom. Consider it sent. Put it out there pretty good. Wow, get some different camera shots we haven't seen before. Really dropping the hammer. Look how well that car works. Nice. Looking really good down the backstretch right there. Gonna bring it up in this speed car. Another 90-degree turn in just a moment. Just listen to the car go into this turn. Right to the wood. Absolutely wide open. Good, smooth run right there. Looking very comfortable. Through the S turns. Rooster tail high in the sky for the Speed UTV. Heading towards the finish line now. Just points it up, squares it up. Let's go. Now he's digging, digging, digging. in the all-black Speed UTV. Nice run. That was a great run. Really impressive stuff right there. Well done. So not bad at all. We'll be waiting. We'll get to see if we can get a time for him in just a little bit as we are ready to throw another competitor out on course. All right, so now back to qualifying again. I'm looking to see exactly who we've got here. It could be first hit. I'll let you know as soon as I can. Not a bad run for whomever it is. Looking decent, using a lot of our drone shots. That drone shot cut off. I missed it. There we go. Coming through the gnarliest turn on the course. Made it happen. I don't want to jinx anybody, but no problems in that turn so far. Looks like everybody's talked about it. Said, hey, let's all mellow out a little bit here. We're just wrecking a lot of equipment the last couple of years. You can hear him. I'd like to listen to that. Just you can hear everything in that car, everything that's going on. Car sounds great. I'm working diligently here to figure out just what number that is. I feel as though I may have had it wrong earlier. I think this is George Berta. We've seen several of these cars. We must have a pretty good sized team of a lot of these cars that look quite similar. Getting off the gas a little bit out at that G out. Looking good on the backstretch. Not much to go yet. Two more 90-degree right-handers and a couple S-turns down in the valley. Thomas Maguar. It's official. All right, now coming to the finish line. Thomas got his qualifying run over and done with. All right, not a bad run. Hopefully I'll have all the times for us here at the end of the day. And of course, you can go to NORRA's website and what have you to get all the times once they are official after timing and scoring has taken care of them later today. Canadian George has that all dialed in. Now it looks like we are out with what I do believe is another four-seater. I think the 2973 of Steve Tucker. Tucker looking comfortable, getting into this turn. We're going to get through nice and smooth. Goes in mid-track. Paces through mid. Goes out a little bit wide. Not bad at all there, Mr. Tucker. Looking really good. All right, we can check that off. That's done with. Now set your sights on the rest of the course. The hard stuff's over. Nice and smooth. That was very impressive the way he got through that with that 4-seater. Stayed right in the center course the whole time. Was it the fastest route through? I don't necessarily think that it was, but was it the smoothest? I think it was probably the best all day. Well done. Now into the walls of Baja. Up on a bit of a bicycle. Opposite of Sadie Super Trucks with the rear tire in the air, 3-wheeling was a good feeling for Tucker for a minute there. Staying nice and calm, it's a smart move. Goes through that little G out. Up into the 180. Off the gas, just letting it roll in. Got around the corner real quick. That car tracks around the corners really, really well. Looking good. Now it's just this little ski jump, couple kickers and some G-outs. It's a very quick 2.5 to 3 minute lap out here. It happens very, very quickly. Tucker looking good, gets through all this, no problem. Similar to what we saw a couple runs ago. He went through that section over to driver's right. It seems to be a lot better, but only 2 of them have done it so far. Seems to be much smoother, not kicking them sideways. We've only had 2 out of all the competitors pick up on that yet. Really good stuff. That was a smart move right there. Looking good for Tucker. Steve Tucker coming up out of the canyon. Just finishing out the S-turn. It's about ready to get around to the last right-hand turn and point it to the finish line. Steve Tucker, great run in the 4-seater. Slightly heavier car, but very, very smooth. The 29.73 of Tucker with a good send off the finish line. I can't say anything other than kudos to you, sir. I don't know what your time was. I almost don't even want to know. Just by watching it, it was a very smooth, intelligent run. The one. All right, we're going to go down and talk to Pam. Pam's got a lot of good information she's bringing up to us here. I'd like to hear a little bit more about it. Pam, you got a co-driver with you?
I am here with Hap Kellogg. Hap, you're normally in a 5 Unlimited, and you've been out here for quite some time racing with NORRA, but you're in the UTV this race, so what's going on?
Well, we changed it up about 10 days ago. Troy Johnson, who owns the Fab School, dreamed this up about 2.5 years ago. He's been working on it, and we just got thrown into the fire, literally, and just decided, hey, we're going to make this happen. So the last 10 days has been crunch time. So proud of the team to bring this whole thing together. And so, yeah, we're doing a Polaris Pro R custom built by the Fab School.
Well, that's really awesome, too, because obviously they're out here every single race with NORRA also. But was this a bone stock when you started 10 days ago?
It was not. He started 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But the engine is just a stock engine, and the chassis is something that he thought it would be safer and more open to modify the chassis a little bit, but it still complies with all the rules and regulations. But we do miss our 5-car, 521, but we hope to have it all together and making things happen at the next NORRA, probably this fall.
Well, you're right now sitting in the driver's seat, but you're going to be riding passenger for qualifying. So, but on the rally days, how many days are you driving?
So I'm driving none. I'm going to navigate 100%. And Troy Johnson, who's the driver of record. So we switched from me to him when we switched cars, and Angel Morphin. They're going to share the driving, and we just look forward to a great race. Thank you, NORRA. Thank you, fans in Mexico. We're just so grateful to be back again.
Well, super stoked to see you back out here again. Different car, not red, right? Because you're normally red.
That's, yeah, gray and red and black. So this is just whole different thing. So thank you, Pam. I appreciate you and doing everything you do to put smiles on our faces.
I try my best, but you know what? When you racers come in at the end of the day with the smiles on your face, no matter how your day was, that goes to show what NORRA is really all about.
Yeah, it's very special. And I want to thank my family and the company, Kellogg Garden Products also. It's sure a pleasure to be here. And while they're working hard in spring, making plants grow.
Yep, there we go. Hap Kellogg right there, you guys. He'll be in that navigation seat, as we just said. So good luck out there, sir.
Thank you, Pam. Take care.
Well, what a cool collaboration. Hap Kellogg, Fab School, coming together as one. I mean, that's awesome. Fab School has been involved with us here at NORRA for a very long time. And let me just touch on this before we get into the run of Burlio Pareto, who's out here right now. Fab School. For those of you at home, if you're parents and you've got some kids, you're not sure what they want to do, they love racing, they love off-road, they like fabricating, could be anything. Not sure what they want to do. If you're some kids out there, if you're in high school, if you're in your late teens, early 20s, and something you're into, contact Fab School. They are awesome, and what they do, it's exactly what it is. It's a fabrication school. But they also join in conjunction with NORRA. When they come here, Fab School works on everyone's cars. Anybody that needs anything, they're here to do it and help out. We have companies like Mag 7, or people like Mag 7, they help you with all your pits and things, and they'll do what you need. But then there's Fab School at the finish line where they're going to fab some stuff up for you. They're going to make it right. They're going to dial in. You got a 911, you go to the Fab School guys. And so that's a really great opportunity to get your kids there, or if it's something that you want to go there and go to school. And they do projects like this, custom-made Polaris Razor, and then come out and race it down here at NORRA. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, that's really awesome stuff. So anyway, Fab School, great partner of NORRA, and we couldn't be more excited to have them on board again. And we've got a very, very long history together and a big, long future ahead of us of NORRA and Fab School. And all of you at home, keep that going. If there's something you're interested in, contact Fab School because they're the hot setup, man. I'm not going to kid you. Coming up to the finish line right now, real nice looking car in that red, white, and blue. That is Burlio. Burlio coming to the finish of his qualifying run. Smart run, not overly aggressive by any means, but a good, smart run. And we're getting ready. Looks like a Can-Am is about to get on course now. And now the camera has zoomed in, I seem foolish. I've been saying that was Elsao the whole time, and I'm wrong. It's not. So I got that going for me. Moving right along here, Can-Am coming off the line. Getting ready to start its qualifying session. Not too many vehicles left to go. On and off the throttle, real choppy right there, gagging the throttle, a little questionable about how wide open they want to be going down the hill. Now we're going to get through this difficult section right here. So far, they've been a little in question of how hard they want to run. If that's the question, be smooth about it. That was not bad, kind of brought it down, slid it in, got things under wraps, was able to square up, get pulled back out of there. It's a pretty gnarly turn, almost turned it into just a kind of an abrupt 90-degree turn right there, and it worked for him. Not a bad idea. But right now I feel as though they want to set a nice time, but they also want to make sure they make it all the way to the finish at the bottom of the peninsula. To being smart about it as they go through the walls of Baja qualifying. Up on, almost all the way up on two wheels. So now going up into that 180 off of the other ski jump. Now going down the back stretch. Qualifying run almost done for this Can-Am. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's been a pretty smooth run. Everything they've done has actually worked out quite well. Is it going to be a record setter? No, it isn't. Is it a smart, smooth, intelligent run that's going to put them in a decent starting spot? Yeah, I think it is. I feel pretty confident in that. Nothing over the top. Just nice and smooth. Don't wreck the car. Let's be smart about it. I'm digging it. Looking really good. Going down through the S's. Not much left to go. Coming up, got that 9-degree right-hander. Going to be going right to the finish line. Again, even down to the last turn. Nothing outrageous or violent, just smart driving. Not bad at all. Cole Wellenweber. Colin, that's a mouthful. I'm not going to lie to you, buddy. Colin Wellenweber. That was a smart run right there. Well done, buddy. All right, now we're getting down towards the end. Trying to see here, if Wellenberger had a teammate, I would say that this is it. I'm trying to figure that out for you right now. All right, nice, smooth, not super fast through that turn at all. But they got through it smoothly without any problems, because we have had in the past seen big problems. I'm talking upside down problems more than once in that section. All right, so far so good for this competitor as we're getting down towards the end of our qualifying session. Nice and smooth. Going through this section, then up over the ski jump into the 180. Not too violent at all. Very calm. Smart way to make it happen. Just down the back stretch now. Nice and mellow. Also another competitor going to driver's right there. It's making a difference, I'm telling you. It really does. Everyone is going center house or driver's left is getting kicked a little cattywampus. And you know cattywampus in a race car is no good. You're going to want to go a little bit to driver's right. It's what seems to be working. As speaking of right, that's what they're taking right now. And there's only one more of them to go after this, down through the S's. And getting ready to come around to the finish line here in just a moment. And there they are, pointing right to the finish line. Whoa, got a little wild right at the end. It was a pretty calm run until we got down to the bitter end. Looks like next up, I think it's going to be the 41, is what it seems like to me. 41 going to be Benjamin Crawford. All right, Benjamin Crawford off and running. Now clicking off some digits on the stopwatch. Crawford running her in deep right there. See how Crawford handles this section. Mellow right there. Now we're going to get into what's been difficult and has been a bit of a struggle for some. Not bad for others. Missed the shot. I'm going to tell you that he went through that pretty well. How about that? Benjamin Crawford got through that section pretty good. I know you didn't get to see it, but just trust me on that one. Benjamin Crawford doing a decent job right now in number 41. Through the S-turns. Crawford getting through there pretty smoothly. Not bad. Crawford going up through the whooped out area and into the ski jump. You may not be able to see it all, but I'm telling you that's what's happening. Trust me, I got it locked in. I know where he's at. Going up into the 180. Up around, uphill, cambered turn. Content aware, number 41. We've seen him here before. Out here having a great time. Nice smooth run so far for Crawford. Not bad over the ski jump, played well. Good job. Now we're just down, just gonna hold her straight. We got another G out coming up in just a minute. Is he gonna go center house, stage right, or stage left through that section? Different camera angle, so nobody will ever know. We're gonna keep that one a secret. There we go. Got through that section decently. Couple turns left to go, 4 to be exact. Nice and mellow, another good, smooth, mellow run. Coming up to the right-hander. Then just a couple mellow turns, kind of big sweepers, if you will, to bring him to the finish. One roller and a ski jump, and that's it. His time's over and done with. Save the car to race another day. Great move. Well done right there. All right, now we've got our chase crew moving around on the outside of the inside of the track, possibly checking on something. Here is, looks like Lone Star, I think is what it said maybe on the front of this one here. In the 443, I believe is what it said. And there he is going around that section, going to get into this off-cambered. All right, so now you see, I think it's a Lone Star Racing. I'll get back to you with it in just a moment as soon as I get a good shot of it and can figure out just who's out there. But you know who I guarantee is out there right now and busting his tail as he does nonstop year round for these races. And that's my good buddy, Elsao Garcia. And Pam, it looks like you had an opportunity to catch up with him. I'd love to hear what he had to say about qualifying today.
I'm here with Elsao Garcia. Elsao, this is one of the largest events that people like to look forward to every single year. Here you are at the start line with the green flag. A lot of people just started, prepping for their race, I don't know, a couple weeks ago kind of thing, but you've been prepping all year long. So give us a rundown of what you really go through to get to this green flag.
Well, usually the Mexican 1000 is like a 6-month of work race. We usually start like in December, and we end up finishing all the details like in June. Even after the race, we wrap up everything. It's a whole lot of work. We have almost like 200 people, or the staff is around 200 people to make this possible. We got course workers, staff, volunteers, sweep, all of the safari leaders. Everyone has something to do, and obviously we're all coordinated. But I mean, it's a whole lot of work to put it on. But we're really grateful that people is here and giving us the chance to demonstrate that we can do things right and that they love the event. So that's basically what we do, and we love what we do.
Well, and talking about that, the work that's put into it, I mean, how many times do you do this peninsula run before you are like set and this is what it is?
Well, we usually do 4 trips down, at least on the course. We do one for scouting. That's the first one. That's when we got to be creative a little bit and kind of change it and do little things that will make it different every year. Then the second one is when we do our notes. Third one is when we test our notes and we edit them if we made a mistake or something. And the fourth one is kind of like a race pace, and we make sure that everything is perfect. So that's basically how we do it, 4 times at least.
It's definitely not easy for sure. I mean, you guys put in so much time and work and effort, and everybody appreciates it. That's why everybody loves to come down to race NORRA. But we have a car that's going to come in for the finish, so I am going to let you get back to business. But Elsao, thank you so much for all the hard work for all the people that come out here and race it.
Well, thank you very much for being here. I know that NORRA TV this year is going to be awesome. I know that you guys are doing a lot to make it better, and I hope we can do it. So we'll see you next year.
All right, Elsao Garcia right there, giving us a little bit of rundown. A busy, busy man, but thank you so much.
Not just Elizao's day, but he's got a big team behind him. With Pepe and with Val, and it goes on and on. There are so many people that are involved and need to be involved with NORRA and setting this up. And when Elizao's talking about, hey, we're going out and scouting things out and this and that. The majority of these races, is on either public property or is on private farms and things like that. He has to go and meet with all of these landowners and sit down with them and talk shop and say, hey, can we do this? Can we use your land? That's a lot of work to make happen. That's not a simple thing. So, yeah, I can certainly understand. I'm surprised it doesn't take them longer, to be honest with you. So it's really cool stuff. But in the effort they put in, these guys are amazing. And out of all the organizations that I've worked for or do work for around the world, NORRA's cream of the crop, man. They really are. They're a top-notch crew. So moving right along, still continuing on with qualifying. They're just coming out of the walls of Baja and heading through kind of a whooped-out section and add a ski jump here. And if you give me a moment, I'll tell you who we've got heading towards that ski jump and then up into the 180. And it looks to me as we got the 1805. So the 1805 wide open down that backstretch area right there. Joe Bolton. Joel Bolton looking good, putting down a nice time. Bolton heavy on the gas here. Not much left to go in this qualifying lap for him. Bolton, real smooth car, tracking great through that section. down in through the S-turns, big elevation changes right here. As I said today, you got to get down if you want to get up, and that's what he's doing. He's going down right now and about to head up. Swaps it out a little bit to the left, out to the outside into the pucker brush a little bit there. Hanging on to it right now. Not a bad run. Moving out pretty darn good, I'm not gonna lie to you. Qualifying is over and done with for him. Real nice run. Looking here, we've got like the 74 something or other here. 747. That's easy enough. I can lock that in. 747. That right there is 747. Nick McPhee. Nick McPhee. Wow, we still got quite a few cars yet to go here. Long qualifying session. Big, huge send for McPhee. That was massive. McPhee coming in here hot. Can he hold it together? Yes, he did. McPhee is not messing around. He is on the gas, man. Looking good. Really, really sent it off that ski jump. Ran into that off-camber turn. I thought for sure he was going to go down to the pucker brush. Not a problem. Got the car turned, tracked right around it, and is looking good. Well done for Nick McPhee. You can hear him really letting it eat off that ski jump. I'll tell you right now, there's no question in my mind, Nick McPhee loves to jump. He's a high-flying, throttle-chopping pilot. Really good stuff. McPhee. Impressive run so far. He really is not afraid to let the dog eat. Great stuff right here. I'm really, really impressed with this run. Once again, we only have the time of the start and the finish line. We don't have it quartered out, so we don't know we don't have it into sectors. But I can tell you, there's got to be a sector or two of this qualifying course that Nick is up on top of, man, because what a run. Really letting her go. Nick McPhee, hammer down to the finish line. Well done, sir. That not only was impressive, that was a fun run to watch. McPhee, just really impressive stuff, Nick. Nice run right there. So as we're on board with him right now, just cooling down, pulling into the pit area. That was, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I'm saying it in a good way. That was a violent run. And it's an awful lot of fun to watch. All right, so there we are, getting ready to go. Send out another car on course. .517 is his number. So that is going to be Craig Belfato. Craig Belfato. Belfado taking the smooth approach to it. Let's not wreck the car type of thing. We've seen a lot of that. There hasn't been too many happy mediums. There's been either let's just go out and try to set a land speed record, and then there is let's be smart about what we're doing. That's kind of what we've seen an awful lot of, and I like that. All right, looking pretty good. Coming down into that off-cambered turn. No struggles for Belfado. Not lightning speed, but no problems at all. Nice and smooth. That was done quite well. Was it the fastest way through there? Absolutely not. Did he get through nice and smooth and didn't mess up the car? He did it really well. That was nice. Not bad at all, Belfado. Almost halfway through. Almost halfway through his qualifying lap. He is now going through the walls of Baja. Going to be heading up through those whoops into the ski jump. Craig. Belfado. Looking good off the ski jump. Mellow, smart, up into the 180. Up the 180, gets the car turned around quickly. Within reason, we be creeping. Belfado just taking his time through that section, being smart about what he's doing. On the backstretch right now. Back pedals it. Nice and easy. This is a car that I feel strongly is going to be at the finish line in Cabo. If this is the attitude he brought down here, this is a man that's going to finish the race. And I'm not making fun of him. This is not a bad idea. It's no fun entering a race if you don't finish, you don't get to go to the party down in Cabo. And I tell you what, he's going to be there and he's going to party. Down through the S's. Qualifying almost done for Belfado. Going up out of the canyon. All the cars crossed the canyon 2 different times in the qualifying session. Gets around this last turn, starts to square it up and head to the finish line. And there he has it, Belfado. Craig, over, done with, qualifying is finished. And now let's see here, we've got the 198 on the line right now. And that 198 is going to be piloted by, there it is right there, Gary March. Gary March. The wind is picking up considerably out here right now. All right, so we are out there right now with Gary March. I feel as though Gary Marcher had already had a qualifying run. I could be wrong. And I'll have to get to the bottom of that and see. Find out just exactly what's going on. But I do believe he had already had a qualifying run in the record books. All right, so Gary Welch. So it is official, 198 is doing a rerun. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is for it, and I'm trying to get that news. All right, so the news that I'm getting as I'm doing my homework as best that I can here while I'm talking is that he had a mechanical, similar, not the same problem, but a similar issue to what PJ Jones had for the 500 this past year, which he ended up winning, the NORRA 500. But he had a mechanical in his qualifying session, which we know that. Now it makes sense. If you remember correctly, it was early on in the session, and then on the backstretch where he is right now, he pulled over to driver's right and just stopped and didn't finish the run. Says, I'm not finishing. Come to find out, had something loose with the transmission and didn't want to wreck the car. So Ned went back, fixed that, and was then granted, and I would imagine it went through Elsao, our race director. I would imagine that was, and he was granted an opportunity to come back and make a full qualifying run. So that's what's happening right now. And it seems as though it was having computer issues, and I've been by one person and told with transmission, so something with the computer was not transmitting to the transmission is what I'm getting out of it. So either way, now it's over and done with. Next one in the line, the 1831 of Travis Clark. Travis Clark coming to the line right now. So here we are, Travis Clark in the 1831. Travis Clark on the gas, going pretty well. Clark looking pretty comfortable out there, getting down into this one section. In the off camber, Clark nails it. Absolutely nails it. Well played. Be tough to have done that any better. Travis Clark really giving it a good send right there. Clark not really messing around, really putting in an impressive run. You can just hear Clark absolutely wide open. on the backstretch here. Off the ski jump, sending it pretty damn good. Again as well. How's he handle this G out? Doesn't bother slowing down. That one either. And that one, he was a little more to driver right than it was center, and it worked really well for him. Clark, almost to the end of his run. Squares it up coming towards finish line. It seemed like a pretty darn good run right there. Looks like we've got the 29.84 perhaps. I believe so, 29.84. All right, let's see here. We are working with the 29.84 being Antonio Contras. The Evolution Production Turbo UTV, Antonio Contras. Antonio, so far so good. Very windy day out here at qualifying. And right now, a very windy day out at qualifying and having some problems. It looked as though possibly some problems with the internet. And that's why we popped to me. So luckily, well, you got me to fall back on. I'm your guy. I'm your safety blanket, if you will. We're not going to do that for very long because nobody wants to look at me. And I don't blame you for that, as we're back with our qualifying session. Antonio Contras. About halfway through this qualifying lap. Looking good so far. Going through this whooped out section, heading towards the ski jump. On the pipe right there. Not a bad send. Up into the 180. Gonna head into the backstretch. Down to the nitty gritty as far as this qualifying run goes. So far, he's looking good. Look at the mountains off into the distance. What a beautiful setting it is out here at Nelson Ranch for our NORRA's Baja Mexican 1000 UTV qualifying session here. This is day one of action. It is also day two of Tech and Contingency. Tech and Contingency started in Ensenada yesterday and is continuing on right now. Well, the UTVs are qualifying. But Ensenada is a very busy little, very racy little city right now, as it often is. Well, UTV qualifying is happening just about 40 minutes outside of Ensenada. And we're getting down to what I do believe is some of the last and final competitors to qualify. Windy day out at Nelson's Ranch today. That car looking pretty good, running pretty well. Not a bad qualifying run. I believe this is the 39.69. And we may possibly, I'm going to let you know in a minute, for the 39.69. I'm going to let you know momentarily as we are doing our best to bring you the action here and go through a few little hiccups that were out on site. We're getting these ironed out so we don't have to deal with them ever again. And so far, so good. Right now it's at 39.69. And that would be Ned Ellsworth. But I'm not quite sure if Ned Ellsworth is taking an actual lap. No, it looks like this is going to be a sight lap. Okay. So it is officially a sight lap. There's at least four cars going out on the sight lap right now. So there you have it. You should be the last of vehicles to qualify. I would imagine it's just because they came a little late today. And then when we get them off course, we're going to come back around and get right back into qualifying. All right. So it looks like we've got these vehicles have gone past the start finish. They are now about a third of the way into their sight lap before they start qualifying. All right, so as they continue on with their sight lap, we've got a lot of qualifying action yet to go here from Nelson's Ranch just outside Ensenada, Mexico, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back in just a moment with more UTV qualifying by Speed UTV.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance, the attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado, because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
All right, folks, and we are back at it with qualifying here at Nelson's Ranch. And this is UTV qualifying here for the 2025 NORRA's Baja Mexican 1000. Qualifying happened just outside of Ensenada, Mexico by about 40 minutes. And we are down to about the end of our qualifying. Only a few cars left to go. The cars you just see out there right now, they are just pulling off the course. They may have showed up a little bit late or what have you, and they just got their sight lap. So I feel as though, I could be wrong, and I often am, that we're going to have maybe another 3 or 4 more go, and I think we still got to have, we haven't seen Max Gordon qualify yet either. And maybe he might end up being the cherry on top. No, there's even more. So we got at least 6 cars yet to qualify. So a handful of them yet to go before our qualifying session is over and done with here. A couple of cars, I could be wrong. They look like they might be the Triple Deuce team. I haven't seen them yet, but I haven't been out and taking contingency all day either. So that may qualifying. And we are back and in full effect right now. Got some people crossing over into the infield. And then we're going to get back to our qualifying session here, hopefully very, very soon. As I'm just waiting to see exactly what the holdup is or what it is, why we're not running cars right now. And it looks like it's still a very windy day out there at Nelson Ranch. And then momentarily we should be getting back to the action here, hopefully anytime. So looking to get some information of when we're going to get back to green flag. Hopefully we'll be back at it again here any minute. As what we could do is right now I'm waiting to see exactly what's going on, what the holdup is, and I'm sure it's got something to do with Robbie and Elsao and some of the new competitors that have just shown up. But in the meantime, I can tell you the qualifying adds to the event big time. You know, I've been doing NORRA for, I think maybe, I don't know, pushing 9 years now, a long time. And I've seen some of its amazing stuff that's happened, some of the stuff that's been a little off, and bringing qualifying into it has been an awful lot of fun. The first year we did it, you know, yet some of the competitors were a little standoffish, not real sure about what they thought about it. And now it's to the point where, like, people look forward to it. You know, it's a lot of fun. And it definitely adds to the weekends, the plans and things, especially on a Friday, instead of having just 2 days of nothing but having tech and contingency. It really adds something special to it, which is pretty cool. Speaking of adding special things to it, we are back to qualifying. I was just going to tell you about some other cool things to look at throughout the week, but we're going to look at this car qualifying right here, as this is I'm looking to get a number again. Maybe the 724. Alrighty, and let's see here. So now we're digging out maybe the 724. I'm going to let you know in a minute. Every time I get somebody to start telling me car numbers and times, they don't stick around long enough. 721 perhaps. And it looks like that would be 721 was Hap Kellogg in the Fab School car, which I don't believe is this car. I thought he already qualified it, or maybe he did not. But if that is the 721, that would be the Fab School Pro R, driven by Hap Kellogg. We'll see if we can get a good look at it right here. Okay, so that is Fab School on the side. That is the 721. So as I was talking earlier today, if those of you that joined us a little bit late about Fab School, a little over 2 years, I think it was, in the making of taking this Polaris Pro R and doing a full custom Fab School program out of it. But of course, staying within the rules and regulations of NORRA and staying as a production car. So that's really cool. Now they have someone out here racing in the Fab School who is here every year for the 500 and the 1000 and chasing all the way down the entire race, and helping everyone and anyone who needs help, now has another one of their own cars out here. They've had some other cool cars as well as time has rolled on. So Fab School, it's they give back to off-road more than a lot of people out there. And there's a lot of the kids that go to Fab School that come down here to NORRA and get talking to teams, and next thing you know, they graduate, and before they graduate, they already have a job lined up, which I think is pretty cool. So that go for you, Fab School. I mean, that's awesome stuff right there. Folks, that right there was our good buddy, Hap Kellogg, in a Fab School car. Right now, still atop the leaderboard, though, is Robbie Gordon with a 2:34.00. That's the one thing with the times I can tell you. That's information I've been asking about for about an hour, and I finally just got an answer back. And yes, it is still Robbie Gordon. And I believe this is one of 2 cars in this team, and I could be wrong, but by the color scheme, and I know these guys well, I believe this is the triple Deuce team. I don't think we'll ever get quite close enough for me to read that on there, but I feel very confident that that is what's going on. Get a moment to get a number off the car and see exactly what is behind the wheel. Alrighty, let's take a look. 3.8. All right. Uh-oh, getting a little slow, almost stalled out in the center of that turn. Struggled a little bit through that section. You can really hear the wind whipping out there right now. It is. Flags are flat out. Something just fell off the back of that car, without a doubt. Curious if anything else is going to follow in suit. But I feel pretty confident something. I don't think that was anything that kicked off. I think something came off the car. As they are now about halfway or a little more than halfway through their qualifying lap. Here, presented to you by Speed UTV here at Nelson's Ranch, just outside of Ensenada. For NORRA's Baja, the Mexican 1000, UTVs and Class 10s are the only cars out here to be qualifying. See him in that relatively stock, no pipe, no nothing on that thing, no exhaust car. Wide open down the back stretch. As it looks like the 88. Oh, Donald Mankey. I should have put 2 and 2 together. I don't know why I didn't come up with that one on my own. Mankey getting down towards the end of his qualifying lap. Donald Mankey, one of the key competitors in the Triple Deuce team. And then after this, I think we have another Triple Deuce vehicle to qualify as well, I do believe. Mankey, get a little rough getting through that section. Super washed out on driver's right. Comes around, squares it up. Mankey coming on through to the finish line. Tiny little speed bump. There you go. All right, Donald Mankey. He's been doing NORRA with us for quite some time. Great dude. Always a lot of fun to have around. And I believe there should be another Triple Deuce car yet to qualify. Yeah, and there it is. So here is Can-Am Triple Deuce car. Nice and easy. The key to success is you got to make it to the finish line, and not just any finish line. You got to make it to the finish line down in Cabo in order to even feel any little bit of success. And the Triple Deuce team being smart about that and just taking it easy, not running their equipment into the dirt. And I think that's a smart move. As you see them getting through that tight section, that silt's getting a little bit deeper, and it's getting a little bit longer because a lot of it's being dragged out as well. But luckily for these guys, there's not too many more cars to qualify, so it won't get that much worse. Triple Deuce team. This is the second of 2 cars. Donald Mankey being the first one. Getting it across the line. And it looks like this will be the last. Alrighty, so it looks like we are down to what I believe is the last car here for qualifying. And it is the second of the 2 Triple Deuce teams, or Triple Deuce cars, I'm sorry, not teams. And heavy on the gas. So Mankey was driving the first one. And he definitely, his teammate here is really getting on the gas hot and heavy in his qualifying run on the backstretch here. As we're now down into the S-turns. Right now, the time to beat is still by Robbie Gordon with a 2:34 flat. Triple Deuce team about ready to come over the start-finish line and end their qualifying run. The record books. So unless I'm incorrect, I believe we are down to now the end of qualifying. I think that's over and done with, and that marks everyone off the list. So, with that being said, the reason you hear like kind of a question in my mind is, and I shouldn't have a question in my mind at all, but up on top of the leaderboard, over and done with, when it's finished, there's nowhere else to go. Every car is qualified. We're ready and set the grid for the 2020. Oh, I knew it. I knew it wasn't over that easy. I had a feeling. Yeah, I had a feeling there was more to come, and I don't think this is the last one either. I could be wrong. I'm sorry I got you guys all wound up for no reason. And we'll see if we can get a number on this car here momentarily. And give you a look. Well, it is when you look at the dust blowing out of that bowl. Wow, that is something else. It is getting windier and windier. Todd Romano said earlier this morning that it was really windy out at Nelson Ranch. He wished he had brought his kiteboard. As we've got the 20. I'm looking at the number one more time. 2036 it is. So the 2036 setting not a bad run right now. In the 2036, Alan Irwin, the Evolution Pro UTV Class 10, Alan Irwin, on the backstretch, stretching his legs of his Polaris here at this UTV qualifying, brought to you by Speed UTV. Alan Irwin. 4 turns left to go, and his run is over and done with here in qualifying from Nelson Ranch. Alan Irwin, last turn, nothing but a funky little straightaway, sweeping straight to the finish line for Irwin. Respectable little send there off the finish. Alan Irwin got his qualifying run done. A couple more cars yet to go here in qualifying. You can't be the Triple Deuce team without 3 of them. And so here we are with the 3rd and final of the Triple Deuce team. And all off the line, it's going to be the 1979, I do believe. Oh yeah, how could I ever forget about Thomas Purcell? Thomas Purcell, a front runner here in NORRA and a great competitor. So Thomas Purcell out on track right now. He is driver of record for this car. This is the Evolution Pro UTV Class 10. So, out there doing his thing. Thomas Purcell, per usual, looking pretty comfortable out there. Coming out of that off-camber turn. Now getting into the walls of Baja qualifying here in just a moment. Sends it pretty good right there. Gets down to the walls, to the window, to the walls of Baja qualifying. Up, over through some moved out sections. Points it right at the ski jump. Purcell with a pretty good send right there. He knows this qualifying course, been here, done that several times already in the past couple of years. Tom's been part of this program since I can remember. So he's been qualifying here for both the 500 and the 1,000 every year. So he's got some time on this course. Curious, is he gonna go? No, way over, right up to center. Got kicked kind of funky. Wow. Thomas Purcell, though, really on the gas, man, trying to make some moves. A little squirrely right there. This right here is why Thomas Purcell is a front runner down here in Baja at the NORRA races. He is a driver that can put it to the wood whenever he needs to. He knows what he's doing. He can wheel the car. He knows about the car. He knows what it's like to run up front. He knows what it's like to have bad luck as well. Thomas Purcell trying to do his best to move forward here in qualifying, start up as far front as he possibly can. Well done, Thomas. Nothing but checkered flag in his future right here. So Thomas Purcell over and done with his qualifying session. Now we're waiting to see. I know we've got at least 2 left to go. Here is a 4-seater. 39.69. That's going to be Ned Ellsworth. So there is Ellsworth. What's he going to do in this off camber? He got that big 4-seater around that like a champ right there. Brought it in there, really rotated the chassis around, got the thing pointed up. That was probably the most impressive one yet so far in that section. Very, very impressive stuff right there. Ned Ellsworth, I'm very impressed with what you just did there, buddy. So Ellsworth having a little bit of struggle right there. Get a little wide. For one of the longest UTVs on the market, he's got this thing to corner pretty well. And that's not easy to do, so he knows how to drive the car, because this car will not just track around anywhere you want it to go. You got to know how to drive the car. So he's getting down towards the end now of his qualifying run. Really sending it. Holds onto it right there. That looked like it's long, almost put the water out of the hot tub in the back. As he's wide open down that backstretch. Got another G out to getting down to it at the end. Three turns left to go, down through the S's. That's where he's going right now. Coming up out of there, up on top of the hill. It's a big hill too. Camera doesn't show how big it is. It's massive. Over this roller and to the ski jump. So there you have it, Ned Ellsworth. And I think there's one car left to go. And there it is. Folks, that is the 77. And if you don't know, let me educate you. 77 right there is the fastest driver every time we've qualified here in Baja for the NORRA's Baja 1000, and every time for the 500. That driver sets the fastest time every time and continues to beat his own time. And that driver right there in a 2023 Speed UTV Bandit is driven none other than by Mad Max Gordon. There's his father giving a thumbs up. The time to beat set by his father, Robbie Gordon. The time to beat right now, 2 minutes, 34 seconds flat. Mad Max Gordon's off and running. He has consistently beaten his own time. He did it at the first NORRA 500 we qualified. He beat his time last year, a year ago today at the 1,000. He beat that time a couple months ago at the 500, and he's going at it one more time now on that Bandit. The wheelman himself, big send from Mad Max Gordon. Speed UTV handling that landing like an absolute champion. How does he handle this off-corner? Comes in hot, wide, stays on the outside, gets the power to the ground. Absolute textbook through that turn. Max Gordon through that whooped out section. Nothing to him. Look at him, calm in the cab. Mellow in the cab. He wouldn't even spill his macchiato if he had one in his hand. Looking so good. Of Baja. Calm, cool, counter steer, go oversteer going into it, just dialed right in. Now up to this whooped out section. Is he gonna let off the gas for the ski jump? I vote negative. Full send, all to the end and to the inside of the track. Sets him up, gets center track, going up into the 180. Up the hill. Sets it up nice, drives in. Slides a little bit and drives out. Gets the power to the ground, doesn't back it in. Smart move right there, and it's nothing but this long straightaway. Absolutely dropping the hammer. Listen to that car right now, just crushing the loud pedal. Wide open down the backstretch. The 77. The Speed UTV Bandit. Mad Max Gordon hammering into this turn, dropping down 90 degrees to the right. The skinny pedal is his friend. Down through the S's, bigger elevation change. Calm, cool, collected, that is Max Gordon coming up out of the valley. One turn left to go. Nice, crossed up. Aims it, points it, right on the loud pedal. Nothing but gas. Speed UTV, that Bandit going to the finish line. Big run for Max Gordon. Looking to get that time for Max. All right, so we've got the time now. The fastest time in the history of doing qualifying out here at Nelson Ranch. That time was set by Max Gordon at the last NORRA 500 with a 2:27.27. Today's time to beat was set by Robbie Gordon with a 2:35.50. No, I'm sorry, 2:34 flat. The time for Max Gordon's run right now, today, for the 2025 NORRA's Baja 1000, puts him up on top of the leader box for the race with a time of 2:31.51. Max Gordon, still the fastest driver in qualifying, not setting a new world record today. So very impressive run for Mad Max Gordon. Not beating his own personal record of a 2:27.27. But he did, however, come in as the fastest qualifier for today and will start up front for NORRA's Mexican 1000 tomorrow, starting right in Ensenada and heading to San Felipe. Mad Max Gordon will be up on top, starting out in front, dust free, and ready to rock and roll. So another impressive run by Max Gordon. And still, 4 seconds off of his last fastest time ever, but fast enough to be up on top of the leaderboard by over 2 seconds. All right, so Mad Max, I believe he knows he's up on top of the leader box, but not set a new record. He might be upset about that, but I'll tell you who's not upset, and that's me. My name's Sean Cermony, and man, what a day we had so far today. This is just day 1 of we'll call 6. Racing doesn't even start until tomorrow, so it's been an excellent day here. We've got tech and contingency went on all day yesterday. It's still happening today. Drivers meeting later on this evening right here in Ensenada. And, of course, 5 amazing days of racing down the peninsula. We start off tomorrow morning, and we are going to head all the way down from here in Ensenada. We're going to bring it right down to San Felipe. That's going to be day number 1 tomorrow, starting right off early in the morning. From there, we are then on to San Felipe, Bay of Alay, Loreto, La Paz, down to Cabo. I'm going to be with you all weekend long. Pam Hall is going to bring you the action from the track. So make sure you stay tuned with us each day. Follow your favorites, follow the competitors. And for Ford Motor Company, Speed UTV, Meyer, Minks, Fab School, and everyone, qualifying is over and done with for the 2025 Speed UTV qualifying session. So be back with us tomorrow morning. I'm Sean Cermony. Can't wait to bring you all the action all week long. Thanks for tuning in.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance, the attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.